Welcome to another edition of the Owner's Box. I'm Billy Koch. I am the founder and managing partner of the Little Red Feather Racing Club. Joining me alongside, as always, with the beautiful smiling face and the rosy cheeks. Why are your cheeks so rosy today? Michelle, you.
Oh, are they rosy?
Yeah,
I just put on some blush. I literally came from the farm and I'm dirty, so I just put some blush on and changed my shirt. I'm still wearing like riding pants on the bottom.
I think you should show us.
My riding pants? They're so dirty.
Just for proof. All right, there you go. Riding pants. All right, Michelle, you. What a weekend at Del Mar. We have a very special guest. We're bringing on John Dowd, who is the executive bloodstock agent for Little Red Feather Racing. Wanted to give John credit for his purchase of Ice Cream You Scream, who was an outstanding winner of the Grade 1 Del Mar Oaks, causing me to lose my voice again.
You actually sound a lot better than I thought you were going to sound.
Really? Well, no, I think I've permanently damaged my vocal cords. Like,
Same. I cannot get my like voice to
it's
be normal.
ridiculous. Yeah,
That's
that
what Del Mar
and
does.
it was just an unbelievable weekend, Michelle. Something we'll remember forever. We had so many people there, families, kids, young adults, and that's I said, and got made fun of very much that I said this is what horse racing is all about, and it's true. I mean, the people can say partnerships aren't good for the game, or they can say that there's too many people, or they can say anything they want. But the truth of the matter is we're bringing more people into the game, and those
Mhm.
people might be eventually go on their own. They're allowing us to buy more horses, bring more inventory to Southern California, and so let the haters hate. But it was a great
Also,
day.
can I just add like this to like what Little Red Feather does is that you guys are like the great middle market as far as like affordability goes. You're not spending $1 million or $2 million on a horse, which I feel like then teeters into like the inconceivable for the majority of people. You guys buy a horse that a lot of owners could afford on their own, right? Like, I
Right.
mean, the $100 to $300,000 range, even though that sounds like a big number in racing, that's a very middle market, and I think that that's one of the beauties of your partnership over others is that you're staying in this market that, like you say, you want people to kind of branch out on their own. A lot of your partners could afford this horse on their own.
Probably, yeah. That's a great point, Michelle, and I appreciate that. I think there's a business plan for everybody. Everybody has different business plans. You look at the Avengers and what they do. They're cornering the market on high, expensive two-turn colts, right?
Mhm.
Because of that, and because we race in Southern California, we kind of primarily look for fillies in that middle market fillies, but nice ones. I mean, we spend, like you said, anywhere between 100,000 and 250,000. That seems to be our sweet spot, and that's what our partners like. They want to be in horses that they have a chance. A horse like Ice Cream You Scream originally was purchased at OBS for $145,000. So yeah, I mean, everybody could have bought that horse. To be honest with you, I mean, you could have.
I wanted her. I wanted her
Was
very badly.
was she the horse that you guys were
Yes.
the underdog on?
Yeah, and then I was so
Oh,
upset that you named her Ice Cream You Scream. I told you you jinxed her that she's never gonna be good now.
but it is a good name. That's what you're missing. It's a very creative, good name. Good
It's a
horses have good
it's
names.
fine now, she's a grade 1 winner, but also I was just like, "Ugh," like, all those words smushed together.
I think if her name was like Twirling Michelle.
Oh, that'd be a terrible name. I don't like that name either, but,
Candy Candy
it
Cane
was
Michelle.
it was good. Okay, so that's actually my,
Just leave
3
it.
things of note. Number 1 is certainly the fact that Ice Cream You Scream did win the Grade 1 Del Mar Oaks. She's an undefeated 4 for 4, and she is an OBS success story, so we wanna key in on that. We liked her from the get-go. She's constantly showing improvement. Even in this race, no offense, Billy, she was not perfect in this race, and she still, I mean, blew their doors off at the end, but she was on her wrong lead. I mean, there's still upside to her, right?
I think that's just the way she is, Michelle. And Hector Barrios knows this filly so well after riding her in the San Clemente. And if you look at, to be honest with you, at right as they turned down the backstretch, and Hector was really had a strong hold of her, trying to like
Mhm.
just go as slow as possible. And that's when Rispoli made that move. And I looked at Travis, the
But you
dragon.
guys go like 24 and change?
It was very slow, and I looked at Travis when Rispoli did that, and I said that was a mistake because now she has a target, and
Yeah.
and like you've seen so many times. What was kind of special about that race is how many times have you seen someone make that move, and then the horse that gets past wants to instantly re-engage, and it's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah.
That didn't happen at all. She
No,
basically
she
just,
was like, "That's fine."
okay, go ahead. And then she came right around and took command. And yeah, the lead thing, that's just kind of her. That's her quirk. There's
Mhm.
a lot of great horses that have just stayed on their left leads. And Hector's the kind of jockey that doesn't force her to switch leads. She didn't need to. If you really watch that race inside the 16th pole, she makes another move.
That's a sheep like,
She's
she
drawing
started away from
away.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's drawing away at the end. So that's just how she is. That's just how she's comfortable. Now, as the races get tougher and she has to start facing older, possibly down the road somewhere, look, maybe she doesn't get away with it, but she sure did on Saturday.
What do we do for a plan standpoint? Are you guys like a regroup, we'll wait? Like, I mean, what's the next opportunity for straight 3-year-old fillies?
Well, it's really nice that we brought in Mark Martinez when we had the flash digital sale. Mark is a scholar, and he sent us an email this morning with like everything laid out and a database and all this stuff about here are options and here's who's going where and blah blah blah. It was awesome. Thank you, Mark. Right now, there's kind of two plans. There's the go to Keeneland and run on the QE2 plan,
Mhm.
which would be a dynamic challenge, and you might face, Cinderella's Dream or some horses like that, which would
Torpedo
be
Anna?
no, would she? Really?
That's
Maybe.
what McPeak said on our
Oh,
show.
did he really? I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would probably not be good for us, I don't think. Um,
She might not like
but
the grass, you never know.
right. We might stay home and just take the 3-year-old route and run in like the Autumn Miss and run and point for the grade 1 American Oaks at the end of the year. Everything's kind of up in the air right now. We're just going to enjoy this, see how she trains, and really let her decide where she wants to go.
I think it's nice you finally gave Phil a good horse, Billy.
Yeah, it's really a struggle. He's been struggling with his 11% win rate at Del Mar.
All right, other big news this weekend, it was also the grade 1 Alabama back at Saratoga, and of course, Torpedo Anna bypassing in order to run against the males in the Travers. So this race went to Power Squeeze for Jorge Delgado, Foraging Farms, Leah Farms, and this horse was also an OBS purchase and a very inexpensive $90,000 for this daughter of Union Rags, who banked $330,000 for her narrow victory over Candied. And I have kind of backed Power Squeeze all along.
You,
And she,
you've been a
yeah,
good
I
Power
have,
Squeeze fan.
yeah, I like Power
Is
Squeeze.
she the filly that won on Preakness Day?
Yeah,
Yeah, she was pretty impressive that day too.
she's a
She's a
nice
nice filly,
filly.
obviously a grade 1 winner. I mean, Candide had every chance. No real excuses. She ran a brilliant race, got beat a nose. But congratulations to those connections with Power Squeeze. Hopefully we see her in bigger and better races down the road.
Well, she's just happy that Torpedo Anna wasn't in there, right?
Yeah, but
Now,
that's
what do you think? Do you think Torpedo Anna's going to beat the boys? Because that's number 3 coming up this weekend, guys. It's going to be the Travers. And we've got Dornock in there, who's won the Haskell and the Belmont. We've
and
got Fierceness in there, who's won the Jim Dandy. We've got Torpedo Anna, who's won the Kentucky Oaks and all these other filly races, trying the boys, right? I mean, this is a really interesting race.
here's what I'll say. I haven't done a lot of homework, but here's
Okay.
what I'll say for those listening. I love Torpedo Anna. I hope she wins. I will be rooting for Torpedo Anna.
But
But don't you think this is the time for Sierra Leone, as we've jumped off his bandwagon so many times, gets the 1.25 mile. He gets a race with Fierceness, Dornock, Torpedo Anna, tons of speed in there. There's others in there as well. And Pratt now, I think, figured him out last time. He was straight, didn't do the lug-in thing. I just feel, I mean, Chad Brown got his win in the 4-star Dave finally. Now he's shooting for the Travers. I just feel like this could be Sierra Leone's time. That's
okay.
my gut. I'm rooting for Torpedo Anna. Kenny McPeak was one of the greatest guests we've ever had on the show. He was
Mhm.
unbelievable. And I love this filly. I had her in the Oaks. I have this feeling that they're gonna go fast. And and
Oh,
I know
yeah.
it makes the race.
Especially because Chad Brown entered another horse. Now, I'm not gonna say he's a stone cold rabbit because he won the
No,
Curlin,
he's good.
right? He's a good horse that legitimately deserves this opportunity, but he's gonna keep an honest pace.
There's gonna be a pace. There's gonna be something I just see it like what was the Steve
I see John's here too. We'll get just 1 second, John. We'll be
one
right with you.
second, John. Epicenter, didn't he finally like show his stuff in the when he didn't win the
He
Derby?
might have, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was, and then he just rolled in the Travers, and that's what I kind of see. I kind of see this pace scenario that favors Sierra Leone finally, Pratt
Okay.
figured him out, and I think he's going to come rolling.
I can absolutely see that happening. Like, I'm really torn between, like, Dordogne ran really well, and he'll kind
I
of
love
get
Dornock
his
too.
normal trip,
Hey,
but, like, I feel like Sierra Leone, but also Sierra Leone, like, never wins.
I know, I know, I
He's like
know.
a hard horse to
I
single,
like all
right?
these horses. I think they're all. I think there's a really nice crop of 3-year-olds, and I like them all. Like I like Dornock.
Mhm.
Jason Worth came on our podcast last week. He was unbelievable. I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for Kenny McPeek and Torpedo Anna. You know, it's kind of like it's a very hard race to like just bet because I
Yeah.
like all these horses.
Mhm.
So anyway,
All right, so that was our 3 things of note. We're gonna bring in our guest now, John Dowd.
look at
Hi,
this guy. Hey,
John.
move in the middle. You're on the side. We can't see
Well,
you.
to be fair,
I'm
he
on the
was in
wrong
the
way.
middle, but then when I make us squishy, like, you have to change your
Yeah, there you go. There, but you go a little lower, a little lower,
hold
a
on, I
little
can
lower.
move him. Look.
Oh
There
yeah,
we
there you
go.
go. Perfect. Look at that. How you doing, pal?
Good, buddy. How's it going?
How come
That's,
I've never got a little red feather hoodie like that?
that was specially made for John Dowd.
I was gonna say, I've got my nice, like, thin ones, and I've got a shirt. That's a nice hoodie.
That's a nice hoodie. That's a
Is
nice
that
I
what you
hoodie.
love
get when you buy a grade 1 winner for someone?
it.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Yes.
You know, John, listen, before we're going to get into your bloodstock agency, but I know you have a ton of stories and people may not know you. So this is your, welcome to the public moment. Talk a little bit about your history. We can go back maybe to Song and a Prayer and the fact that you were a trainer back in the day.
Well, I'm second generation horseman. My dad was a trainer. I trained for over 21 years. I enjoyed it, but I just enjoy evaluating young horses and talent. And that's what I
Yeah.
do now.
How do you think all those years as a trainer made you a better bloodstock agent?
I think you understand more about physical, what horses can and can't deal with. But at the same time, from being a trainer and knowing to see the way horses are handled, it makes it hard too.
Oh, right,
So
because you're buying something and then you're kind of
you're
you
turning the keys over to
turn it over
somebody
to
else.
somebody else
Mhm.
to kind
Right.
of mold that horse. But when you look at horses, we had Kenny McPeek on a couple of weeks ago, and he was amazing, and he gave us all his secrets, which I have already replayed for you. And John, I will send you that podcast for you to listen to, so you have some pointers. Not that you need them, but like when we go to the sale, John, you go there first. You are, I mean, you look at every horse and you evaluate them. Tell us a little bit about your strategy in doing that.
You know, with buying for Little Red Feather, I primarily look for fillies for turf. I've gone through the first 3 books of Keeneland. I've narrowed it down to about 100 or 268 horses that I'm interested in that
Nice.
begin the process of fitting what I think we like and we want. Then I hit the ground. I will look at all those horses and probably lose a good 60-70% of them.
And when you say lose them,
Mhm.
what is the quickest thing that you can see? Is it their hind end isn't big enough? Their front they turn out. What are you looking at when you lose a horse?
Confirmation, and also physically how they walk, how they carry themselves, athleticness, mentally. Some horses just kind of give you a bad feeling. You know, they're a little squirrely. They just don't have a lot of class. Um, and also, pedigree obviously dictates the price.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So there's the price factor too. There are horses that I just know are going to be completely out of my range, what I'm looking for.
John, do you
So
think that pedigree is more price indicative than physical nowadays?
I think it's a combination, and obviously when you get both, then the number goes through the roof.
Mhm.
Um, so there's certain confirmation things that I can live with that hopefully other people can't, and it makes the price come down more realistically in my range when I'm thinking. Um, in a perfect world, and how I've been told there is no perfect world, you'd love to have both, but
Right.
you better have a
At
big
what
budget.
point so you make your short list looking at the pedigree, and then you
Yeah.
come and look at them physically. At what point do you come to Billy or Gary and say, "These are the horses we should heavily consider"?
Usually I get 2 looks at them in the barn on the end of the shank. And the third look is in the back ring.
Mhm.
But after I do the 2 looks and I narrow that list down, and I think it's realistic that we have a shot of ending up with 1, 2, 3, whatever we're trying to buy, then I go to Billy, I send it to Billy, and they go over the list and we go from there.
You bought some, obviously some very nice horses for us, going back to Elm Drive, who's about to head to Kentucky to run in a $1.5 million race. She's a multiple grade 2 winner.
Oh, is it an allowance?
No,
Oh, I thought their stakes are all over 2 million. If it's 1.5, I feel like it was only allowance.
maybe it is 2 million. I have no idea, but talk a little bit. And you buy these horses at OBS. Talk about the 2-year-old and training sales at OBS versus buying a horse as a yearling.
So you get to see more, obviously, on the racetrack, which a lot of people do or don't believe. But you get to see not only if they're 9 and 4s or 10 flats, that part of it, which it's a plus in one sense, but it doesn't dictate everything. There's a lot of cheap horses that can go fast, and I guess the other part is we know what they paid for them if they bought them as yearlings.
Right.
So that eliminates, a certain amount of them that, again, are just going to be, they gave more for it as a yearling than I'd like to give as a 2-year-old.
Right.
So you got to narrow it down.
Yeah, it's interesting when Michelle, I make fun of John all the time because sometimes I'll get his 2-year-old list and it'll be like 9 and 4, 9 and 3, 10 flat, 10 flat, 9, 4. I'm like, John, yeah, these are all the fast horses. And what do you say to me, John?
You tell me.
You want a fast horse or a slow horse?
You want to buy the 11-1 and prove everybody wrong?
Yeah, or you want to buy the fast.
I mean, do you, Billy? Do you want to buy the 11-1 and prove everybody wrong?
John, go back in time.
If I was a coach, I'd never win any games.
There you go.
I want to go back in time to looking at OBS at Ice Cream You Scream specifically.
And I mean, she was a beautiful filly that did work 9 and 4.
Wait, now do you look at her before she works, or do you look at her only after they work?
I look after.
Okay.
I used to, when I lived in Ocala for 11 years, I used to go to all the farms and hung out with all the guys and watch babies train. And in honesty, and I had the same conversation with Phil Hager, who does that now with yearlings in Kentucky. And I'd have that list and go there, and I throw that list out the window because it never held up. Yeah. It really didn't. I mean, our 2-year-olds are like combine camps. You have one day to show up, and the guys that run fast get the big contracts and typically turn out to be the better athletes. Not always, but for the most part.
Go back to Ice Cream. When you saw her, was there something that stood out? Do you remember?
All honesty, I mean, I loved her not only because she was fast and galloped out, extremely impressive. Her pedigree screamed turf to me. And probably the luckiest thing that happened to us was her hit number.
Was she late or early?
She was early, and there were a bunch of good fillies that I loved after her. And I think all of us were on the same page, except for we struck early because I thought we'd get blown out of the water later.
Yeah.
Smart.
I mean, honestly, hit number 44 if you go back.
44. And it's interesting because you say that because we talk about that all the time. It's very difficult when you have a certain budget, and Michelle, you know this too, and all of a sudden your horse is early. It's hip 3, it's hip 8, and you're like, oh, but I like those. I want
to blow my wad early.
Right, I like those 10 horses, and now all of a sudden you spend more than you wanted to for that horse. There's a lot of strategy that goes into this, John. You and I have these discussions constantly.
There's a lot of strategy. It's just, and at the end of the day, we're all trying to do the same thing. They're ducking and we're diving, and you got to get lucky.
That's true. That's true.
John, is there a sale that you like? Do you feel like you can find better value at an OBS type sale or at a yearling type sale?
The more horses in the catalog, whether it be an OBS April because of the volume of horses, or Keeneland just around the corner. I mean, there's going to be things that fall through the cracks that we're all going to miss.
Right.
But when you have, like, just coming from Saratoga, the select sale up there, I mean, it's a boutique, beautiful. I mean, you can make a case for 100 horses because the pedigree and the physicals are there. But also it's a small volume of horses that nobody misses. Everybody's looking.
Yeah.
But
Someone
more
that missed
horses give you more things.
only spent the 250,000 on the future grade 1 winner instead of the million on the grade 1 winner, right?
That's how it works.
John,
John,
or Billy, has there been a horse that John's brought to you and you've been like, "Ooh, I don't like it," and he's like, "No, we have to have it"?
I think if John ever had one of those, we would listen to John. I think John and I know each other really well from working together for such a long time. And sometimes I'll get there and see a horse, truthfully, and John, and I'll say like, there's something I don't love the horse. I don't love the way he walks. And John's like, you know what? I think you're right. Let's take the horse off. And I don't know if he's just kissing my ass, which is it could be, but normally, like, listen, I could not go to a sale myself and buy a horse. I would not. I wouldn't do it. You have to have, I've said this for years, an expert like a John Dowd who understands not only the horses, but the game. John, talk about relationships within the industry and who you buy from and who you trust, because it's very difficult. There are landmines out there.
There are landmines, and I think that's one of the greatest assets to me, why I like to be there from day one, whether it be the 2-year-old sales for the breed shows. It's not necessarily finding the best horse, it's dodging the landmines. Dodge, I mean, that can save you a fortune. People, yeah, I have, jokingly, I have my no-fly list of people that I never say never, but I am very, very hesitant to trust.
Right.
And so that to me is a big asset to what I bring to the table for doing this. And I have so many good relationships. As far as working with Billy and Little Red Feather and Gary, I think in the past couple of years, we've really gone along well. We all understand what we do. We all stay in our own lanes. They trust me. I trust them. And it works really, really well. I've worked for a lot of different syndicates, more when I train than now. These guys are the guys that I truly enjoy working with and I trust.
We appreciate you, buddy. We'll talk a little bit about, you were at the New York bred sale. You bought a Kitten's Joy filly that I haven't even seen.
For you bought something? Oh, at the New York bred sale. The New York bred sale. Okay.
Yeah.
The New York bred sale.
Yeah. And I was like, this is a typical John. He's like, you got to have this filly. She's awesome. I was like, okay. What made her special?
Oh, just from being there with this select sale, which to me is a big advantage. I like to look at all horses on the same level playing field. She was that type of physical. Her pedigree, it's cream turf, and there's enough family and depth in the first mare and the second to be there in the family. She's just beautiful filly. I honestly I think I said this to Billy beforehand. I think she's between 2 and 250. I think we give 180 for her.
Yep.
A lot of people like turf New York.
We lost you.
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah. New York
turf horses. So I think that kind of played in our favor. But,
yeah.
She's a beautiful filly and I love her.
John, I want to go real quick back to like the OBS sales, because you said you don't look at them at the barn until after the breeze. So do you do like your homework before, watch the breeze, and then kind of like set your price determination after the fact?
So I sit up there for the breeze show and watch every work. With nowadays, the iPad is incredible because I can click a button and see where they paid for these horses, where they came from, who bred them. And I do not have the gallop outs in front of me. I get those afterwards from a clocker guy, gate artist, who's been a clocker for over 50 years at Monmouth Park. But I don't want to know that at that time. I watch them breeze, watch them how they travel. I click on the iPad. I see what they cost. I mean, if it's something that costs $250, $300 as a yearling, I typically don't look at it because it's not within our budget. And then that night, Gate will send me the gallop outs, and I'll sit down in my hotel room and just go through every horse I marked down, how they galloped out. If they gallop out extremely slow, no, I mean, we're not slow racehorses.
Right.
It might bite me in the ass down the road, but that's the way it is.
What gallop out time are you looking for?
So typically a half mile.
Okay.
Yeah, but isn't that more sometimes a sign of fitness, John, than the actual how fast they are?
Some of it is, and that's where it plays into the consignor, knowing the consignor. Some get leeway. some guys that work 9 and 4, they don't get any credit for that. They're really, really good at that. If their horses breathes 10 and 1, 10 and 2, kind of go, huh, that guy knows what he's doing. That's, that's not a 10 and 1. That's really like a 10 and 3, and anybody else is born.
Right.
But
it's
I mean,
it's almost like you're handicapping the consigners.
100%.
It's like the same when Baffert works a baby, they all work 59 here, right? So if you have a Baffert working 101 or a minute and change, you're like, ooh.
Yeah, 100%. It's the same. And also the breeze riders. I mean, there's certain breeze riders that are the IRAD, of the breeze game.
That's a great point.
Makes a big difference.
No one has ever brought that up on our show before, John, about how important a
anybody.
breeze rider can be.
Yeah,
it's all those play into the way I think and the way I make my decisions.
It's beautiful.
Wow.
It's a lot, Michelle, and I'm going to give John a little more credit. He's very modest. I mean, the guy goes to these sales and just grinds. I mean, John is up at like 4:00 in the morning. He's there like at a barn when they're watering and getting ready to bring the horses out. The reason, I'm not going to say the sole reason, but one of the very important reasons why Little Red Feather is successful is because of John Dowd. He gets full credit. He works extremely hard. And look, and they're not all going to work out. We know that. You know that, Michelle. And John, I think you know that. They're just not. It's just not going to work out. There's going to be horses that either get hurt or they just don't make it, or they're just not as good as we thought. But the fact that you can come up with an Elm Drive, and the fact that you can come up with a Mancuso, the fact that you come up with an Ice Cream You Scream, and that's what this game is about, is constantly re-upping your chances, right? You can't just buy 2 or 3 horses and then stop. You have to go back the next year and do it again. And I think that's what John Dowd is really good. And I think John has learned, and correct me if I'm wrong, John, I'll go to a question for you as I get off my soapbox, but like, what have you learned from when you started your bloodstock to now? Because I think you are more in tune, not just with Little Red Feather, but yourself.
I think I'm very open-minded, and I realize I don't know everything, and you never stop learning. I mean, every sale I see something from somebody or a horse or pedigree or that you go, wow, I never really saw that.
Or I didn't see that coming.
I'm open-minded.
Do you think you were more closed-minded when you started, that you were like, I'm a genius? I mean, I don't see really having that personality.
I never thought I was a genius. I don't think I'm a genius. But I was. You didn't know me when I was younger.
What?
Like, I do not like to lose.
Oh, you were a bad loser.
Wait, John, do you ever buy a horse for Billy and tell him it has to go to a certain trainer? Like, are you like, this horse is really going to suit this program?
I do not. I mean, I do as far as turf in that sense, but no, because I don't think that's my lane. And believe me, it's very frustrating from being a trainer. I mean, I've been to the Breeders' Cup and been to the Derby with horses as a trainer. It's frustrating. I'm not going to say it's not. I mean, that's why when I watch a race, I typically don't pick up the phone and call anybody because it's not a good time.
That's fair enough.
John Dowd, you're a godsend for us. You're a gem. We appreciate you. You did fantastically well. I was a little worried about you, buddy. I'm not gonna lie.
Why is that?
I know. I've seen you do interviews before. Sometimes you get a little, you get nervous. You seem very relaxed.
Billy, he's next to me. He's very happy with me. Look, I'm gonna move John right over next to me. Look.
Right.
Oh wait, that's wrong. Here we go.
No,
there we go.
I think he's been actually staring at you. I'm going to tell his wife. How's your golf game?
It's getting better. That's one thing that I focused on recently. I lost 25 pounds and started playing golf. And
wow. Yep. Look at you. Are we going to play in Kentucky?
Absolutely.
All right. John Dowd, executive bloodstock agent for Little Red Feather Racing. Congratulations, buddy. Grade 1 win with Ice Cream You Scream. You're the man.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it.
John Dowd.
That was so great.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Well, I really like John. I've met him at OBS a couple of times, and I really like him. Ryan really likes him. He's just really nice to talk to, but he did a great interview.
I thought he was great. I thought he was
awesome. How much was Ice Cream You Scream?
$145,000.
$145,000.
Elm Drive,
and Power Squeeze was 90,000 at OBS.
Yeah.
And what was Elm Drive, since we're talking about her?
165.
165.
Yeah.
All right, OBS place to find racehorses.
Yeah, that's the thing, Michelle. Like, I think it's funny because it's nice when people actually work hard, and
Right.
that's because you and I know you've seen those sales. Like, there's people who just sit at the bar, or oh, I only have 100,000, I can only buy one horse, so I'm gonna go look at six.
Yeah.
John Dowd looks at like
Every
a
horse.
million horses, and he starts narrowing and narrowing and
Mhm.
narrowing. But he did say, I'm a big believer in saving time. So he's right about the fact that when you can see the prices in these 2-year-old sales, and there's a horse that was bought for 300,000, and my budget's 150. Well, there's no
Mhm.
reason for me to go look at that horse. There's
Right.
just not. And there's times where a horse was bought for 50, worked 10 flat, galloped out awesome, and we're like, oh, we like this horse, right? And great physical, beautiful walk, great consigner, and you go over there and it sells for 750. Well,
Yeah.
that's nothing we can do about that. So
Right.
you have to have a list, you have to have a strategy, and I think John's really good at that.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Billy, for bringing on John. I thought he was excellent. Coming up this week at Del Mar, let's see if I can get a screen
I love when you do a screenshot,
share.
although I'm not wearing my glasses today because it's too glary.
Oh, so you can't read?
No,
Let's see. Share.
it's a thing.
Let's see. I gotta add to
Did
it. I'm
you
still
see
learning.
Mancuso, by the way, almost beat freaking Baffert?
Yes, I did. I was screaming for you. Couldn't
Uh,
believe she got beat right
uh,
there. She's so cute too with her big old white face.
she really is.
Okay, coming up this week, we have the TOC Ladies Luncheon on Thursday with the founder of Win Place Home as one of the keynote speakers. And then also the Monty Roberts certified instructor, Elizabeth Hauer, is going to be there as well. So if you're a lady and you're down there, come and join. We have 3 p.m. first post on Friday. It is happy hour. That's half off drinks. By the way, what were you drinking this weekend? Because I was drinking out of your cup. It was delicious, but it wasn't like an awesome.
Was it a press?
I don't know. It was clear.
It was clear it was a press, and I'm
What's a
not
press?
100% sure what a press is. I actually call it a split. That's what Abigail knows. I believe it's vodka,
Yeah, for sure it was vodka
soda.
because I don't drink tequila.
No, I think it's vodka, like club soda, and like a shot of 7 Up.
Okay. I could see. Yeah, it was so good. I was like, what
Yeah,
is this? It was
yeah,
delicious.
it was good.
Okay. Saturday, we're gonna have a huge day of racing. It's the Taste of New Orleans, it's Carmathon, and it is the Pat O'Brien Stakes, which I think is gonna be the craziest
Oh,
race.
it's gonna be a great race. Pat
Right?
O'Brien.
I
Yeah,
mean, we
it's
did
gonna be
lose
awesome.
Arabian Night out of it, but we're supposed to are we having the Chosen Ron in it?
Yeah,
And Senior Buscador?
yeah.
And another horse. The Anarchist is not going. He's going to South Korea, but there was another big name in there. But it's gonna be it says grade 2. It's gonna be grade 1.
It's gonna be a great race.
It's gonna be a grade 1 caliber. And then Sunday, the Rancho Bernardo. We have Daybreak both of those days, obviously. This says the San Diego State University basketball autograph signing. I don't know.
Cool.
I guess maybe that's exciting if you like college basketball.
Basketball. Yeah. Why not?
And then I want to just slip back real quick to Carmathon. So
Yeah.
Carmathon, we have been talking about it for the last couple of weeks because donations have been open, but do want to make sure to know that Carmathon is this Saturday. So that's the day that we're going to be having the big push for the fundraising.
Yep.
So if you have made any money in horse racing, or if you just love animals, please consider making a nice donation to Karma, who takes care of all of our racehorses in California after their racing career is done.
That's very important. I mean, near and dear to my heart. Michelle, thank you for that. Did you see the tweet by Mark Stanton today? I think his name's Mark Stanton.
Yes, I will actually hold on. I'll pull it up if you give me
All
1
right.
second.
So Mark Stanton, who has been so generous and loves Karma. I've never met Mark. Mark, if you're listening, this is amazing. He said, if you make a $50 donation to Karma and you send it to him DM on Twitter and show him what you did, he will make a $100 bet for any horse you want in the Travers.
Crazy, right?
So donate $50 to Karma. You get a free $100 bet on any horse you like in the Travers, which is pretty amazing. And we really, really appreciate it. Here's the tweet. It is Mark Stanton.
Can
There
you
it is
see?
right there.
Is it
Yeah,
on
make
my
it bigger.
thing? Okay, yeah. So
Read it.
Here it is. Don't take my advice. Trust your instincts. DM me with a screenshot of a $50 donation to Karma for Karmathon. I will place a $100 win bet on the Travelers for whoever you like with proof of wager after your donation. Needs to be before 4 p.m. Eastern Saturday, and I will send you a screenshot. Don't ask the opinions of Billy, Sam, Michelle, Mike, or Jay Privman.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Must take Venmo, all legit, and 100%. Like this, as many can vouch for me. I've done it in the past. This is not a scam. This is Mark. Like when his horses run at Del Mar, he'll tell me, "Hey, if you end up picking my horse, I will bet $500 on it, and if it wins, I'm making that donation to Karma." So like he's done this multiple times. He has donated thousands and thousands to Karma, and this is just a way for you to kind of make your donation, but also get something in return. And it's not even from any organization. It's just from a guy who really supports aftercare. So
awesome.
I recommend taking him up on it. I mean, Billy, are you going to bet Sierra Leone? You're going to make a donation?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to make a donation and get my $100 free win bet for sure. I'm
going to do that too right after this.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right. I think that's all that we have for this week.
And Karma, with the website, Michelle?
The Karma is karma4horses.org.
Karma4horses.org. Awesome.
Here we go. I'll pull that up.
Great job, Michelle. Great job.
And look, when you come on here,
donate now. There's
a big old button to donate, right?
Yep. All right. That's all you need to do. Let's
click on that beginning or donate up here. I don't want to show my credit card number on this, but this is where we donate. And this is all about Karma. How much you can donate, everything.
Beautiful. Hey, and any amount.
See the last donation I was making, by the way, right here.
Wow, there you go. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle, you handsome.
All right.
Oh, and one real quick, thank you to your daughter for my bracelets.
They look so good.
I have right now I'm wearing Gold Phoenix. Also,
I am going to say though, I made your soapbox Billy one. Okay,
I have the soapbox Billy one I made right now. So this is a great business for Michelle's daughter. She made plenty of cash from Little Red Feather, so we appreciate it. Thank you.
You know what she's buying herself? She really wanted a pair of shoes that I would not buy her, and she can't wait to get them.
So now she's buying them with the money?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Olivia, go Olivia. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.